Hey everybody, welcome back to another Judgment commentary of Zoku Owarimonogatari, but today we're going to be checking out episode 4. And last time, on episode 3, Araragi laid out just how things work here in the mirror world now that he had been informed of that information. He gave some detailed descriptions on how everybody in this world is switched around, the logic behind it, and yeah, a lot of it was fairly easy to figure out, but having it all laid out right there in front of you, it helps piece it all together. But for the time being, Araragi realized that there wasn't much he could do, so he just decided to head home and get some rest. Until he was met with Ononoki, who had her non-mirrored personality. And she was telling him that she was going to bring him to this world's Shinobu. Yeah, this world does in fact have one, even though there was some doubt cast if this world would, because, you know, she's a vampire, and vampires don't have reflections, but Ononoki said that she would bring him to her. And of course she had to explain why she somehow had her non-mirror counterpart's personality, and it's because when she saw that Araragi was freaked out by seeing her, she looked in the mirror for a bit, tried to figure out what caused him to get upset, and concluded that it had something to do with the way she was acting. So she just broke down her personality and then rebuilt it from the ground up until it was more like one he was familiar with. A little sad for me, I would have liked to get to see more of Mirror World Ononoki, but it is what it is. Then, on the way over to meet Shinobu, Araragi suspected that they might be going to the old cram school because, well, that's where a lot of important stuff happens, and he thought maybe that Shinobu would just be still sitting up there in the corner like she was before she entered his shadow. Not quite. Turns out, Mirror World Shinobu lives in a frickin' castle ripped right out of Disneyland. Not exactly what he was expecting, but still actually pretty fitting when you think about it. And upon going up into her room, he found out exactly why Shinobu is able to exist in this world. And it's because her mirror counterpart is human. Now apparently it was established in Kizu that Shinobu at one point was human and then was turned into a vampire, but Kizu was a long time ago and there was a lot of details that were thrown in there. And unfortunately a lot of the minutia got kinda lost to time with me, but all the same, we do know that she did used to be human, so it actually makes sense that her other half, when turned inside out, would be human. Just like with most of the other characters, when they get turned inside out, they become the other side of themselves, often one that's in the past or was just tucked away. Yeah, it'll be pretty nice to get to see a human Shinobu, because we didn't get a good look at her. At the end of the episode, we only got to see a bit of a silhouette, but apparently even just that silhouette was enough to give it away to Araragi that she was human. So, we'll see what she's all about in more detail today, probably. So, let's begin. Yep, that's the way Mirror Shinobu works. She's just way too elegant for her own good. If you were to ever look upon her face, you would just instantly have no choice but to unalive yourself in that moment. Even just being in the same room as her, listening to her, made him automatically kneel down. So yeah, she must have been something else. But interestingly, she said that she had to refrain from telling Araragi anything about his mirror counterpart, and she advised Ononoki to do the same, to not mention them. And all this talk about his mirror counterpart makes me feel like it's going to be pretty dang important at some point later. Probably. And they continue to call into question if it may be Ogi. Araragi's like, is it Ogi? Is it not? The constant talk about it still makes me think that it probably isn't. It would be, you know, unlike this series to unveil the answer so early on. Usually they give you a red herring and then just flip the script on you, but maybe this will be an exception. I mean, if Ononoki was serious about the whole removing bottoms thing, we haven't known Ogi to do anything akin to that too much. Other than this, but that's pretty dang different, isn't it? How did I miss that? I'm going back and I'm looking, I can very clearly see the smirk now. I don't know what was going on. My eyes were just not working in this like a second and a half that it was on screen. I mean, look at this. It's pretty dang clear. What? I think my eyes were focused on the soap, so I didn't see what was going on with the smile. But that is dang weird. The smile is very, very similar to that of Ogi, you know? Ogi does smile like that a lot in that really creepy sort of way. So, yeah, but the reflection resembles Araragi exactly, it just isn't acting the same way as him. Which, otherwise, it's fairly consistent. Most of these Mirror World counterparts do very closely resemble them, with only a few minor differences at most, appearance-wise. But we know Ogi doesn't look exactly like Araragi, but apparently she can change her appearance, so, I don't know. Why would his mirror self even be smirking at him like that? But today's big reveal for the end of the episode, we finally get to see the mother of Tsuruga, Gaien Damn, I don't know how to pronounce that. I suppose that's not as important, but what is important is that she's here in the Mirror World, even though she's dead. Yeah, we know that she died in an accident some time ago, but here she is, at least her mirror counterpart anyway, is here in the Mirror World. Unless this is her main counterpart and she's slipped into the Mirror World, but I'm gonna assume that's probably not the case. This is her house after all, so it's not too surprising that she might be here, other than the fact that she's supposed to be dead. And I guess I should talk about it, the whole, forced face washing thing that Araragi had to endure. It's almost reminiscent of a certain other thing that happened, you may recall, involving a toothbrush. Although, a whole lot less suggestive, but still, kind of reminded me of it, vaguely. And it did end up directly contributing to the plot because he was able to look down into the sink and see the smiling reflection. And the only other thing I can take note of is Ononoki suggesting that Araragi just give in and submit to this world and become his mirror counterpart and just live out the rest of his days here, which, yeah, that is a theoretical solution, maybe, but not much of a good one because, like she said, Mirror Araragi could show back up again, and then what do you do? But again, that's assuming that Mirror Araragi even left. They could still be here, if they're not Ogi. But naturally, it was a non-option for Araragi, even though he did kinda consider it briefly a little bit. I mean, when she presented, it's like, oh yeah, I could just do that, but it isn't even as simple as she was making it out to be. Because like Araragi said, he's already put in a lot of work in his world and he can't just walk away from it. But I think that's about all I have to say for this episode, guys. But thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed. Subscribe to be updated on more. That would be great. Next time, we got episode 5, the penultimate chapter of both Zoku Owarimonogatari and of, well, the whole freaking show. That's all that's left so far. But if Kizu is anything to go off of, I would say they're building up to something here, you know, like where the last couple episodes are going to be a big deal. And heck, even just with the show in general, they always build up to stuff like that. So, we'll see. But I guess we'll find out next time what Gaien has to offer Araragi. I mean, she's dealt with some similar experiences to him in the past, so maybe her mirror counterpart can assist. We'll see. But for now, that's it. So till we meet again, I will see you guys later.